Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be in this bright, wonderful world we call home. It is once again the Aloha Hour. I am your host, Mr. Rourke. Oh, no, Mike Miller. And today, Edwin's on another stream right now. He has the link. He'll come in at his time, in his timing. Tonight we have with us the illustrious Mitch Breitweiser.
Hello, everyone.
And the effervescent John Malin.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you guys here. Oh, hold on a second. I got some. Is Eden cut him to? Why do I have to get this message right now? Eden. Oh, nope. Oops. No, sorry, can't.
Do you know if your wife won her thing?
She did. They entered the, there's like bronze, silver, gold, and they entered the gold and won like I think she said 3 out of 4 of the contests. So
congratulations to her.
Yeah.
Quite good. Yes. And Eric Nienoltowski is supposed to come in here tonight. He asked to be in the Aloha Hour, but
who is this now?
Oh, Eric Nienoltowski. He's an artist. He's a friend of mine. I kind of jumped him in a few weeks ago. Hold on. All of my stuff is slow. My phone is slow. My computer's slow. It's like
your mind is slow. You're. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh! Seriously, this is chat. I'm trying to get it to work, and it's like it's not even scrolling. It's all right. Let me just.
What's the topic tonight, Mike? Oh.
I didn't have one. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to be chill. I called it a time to chill because this week has been so.
It's been nutty.
Chill.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It hasn't been fun. Hasn't been a fun week.
No.
Things.
Last night was probably the most fun I've had in a long while on a stream, just chilling on the Aloha Hour.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I had to corral some of the people in the chat because they're like, that's not why we're here. But yeah. Sorry, I know I'm hosting. I should. John, say something interesting while I try to get my phone to work.
Will do. A good friend of our community, Ben Jones, has launched his IndieGoGo called Asgard today. I'm going to try to find a link for it. But Ben's been a big supporter of Comicsgate. So I know that he's already off to a good start. We put a little mention into Ethan's stream, and he shot up to around 1,500.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. I thought it was only 1,000, but yeah, that's great.
Well, he might be doing better now. As soon as I find this link, I will. There. Okay.
Yeah, pop it in my chat. Trying to get things to work.
Yep, he's at 1960 right now.
Ooh, nice. Very nice. And what? He's been up for 45 minutes, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good.
Dang it.
All right, the link is in the chat. Oops, there we go. Link is in the chat. But yeah, Ben actually sent me a copy of his original Kickstarter for Asgard. It's a 0 issue, but I mean, it's a full-on trade. And a lot of respect for Ben because he writes and draws and inks the entire thing. And my understanding of his new one is there's a tier. It's like a $40 tier. It says like best deal. So, and it includes that original 0 issue, which again is like a trade. And I think the #1 issue is like another, I could be wrong. I think it's almost like a 40 or 60 page edition. So I'm going to see what I can get in here on the information.
I hope he did the research on what is going to cost him more money than it's worth. You know, sometimes people end up losing money trying to fulfill these things.
What do you think? The weight or the printing cost? What do you think is going to possibly drive that down?
The shipping is the highest cost. Usually. I mean, on a trade, I don't know where he's getting his trades printed, so that could actually get pretty expensive as well, unless he already has it. But in that case, then the shipping cost is going to be more.
Yeah, I think this book one, excuse me, this book one. Yeah, he says pencils and inks are 90% complete. They just need coloring, lettering, and printing. The first issue of 4. Let's see.
Hey,
I'm here. Found a wayward Eric. Eric Ninaltowski. This is John Malin and Mitch.
Hello, Eric.
So
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Talk to you in person.
You too.
I kept calling you, Mike, and JoJo kept answering, and I'm like, I can hear you in the background. And I'm like, can you give me to your dad? And he's like, no. So, I don't know where I was, but I'm here now.
That's what happens.
Knee Dynamo in the chat says that according to IndieCrime, all Comicsgate combined did 200,000 worth of business in 2.5 weeks. Wow.
There you go.
Yep. Thanks to all you guys. Thank you, all the supporters for all the projects very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And I am terribly sorry about the sorry case of my resolution. I told the guys this a second ago, but I ordered faster internet, and it should have been here by now. Who knows? Maybe it'll kick in at some time during the chat. Who knows? That would be nice, though. Yeah, it's like 4 times as fast for like $27 extra a month. So I was like, give that to me.
Yeah, your video last night was real choppy too.
Yeah, I know. That's why I ordered the new internet. It's been really bad. It's like, even when it's good, it still gets a little bit choppy. But man, when it's bad, it's like, I look like a 16-bit character or something. Oh, Eric Hutfield says Mike's getting cucked with Edwin too. So much love. So much love. Oh, there's some. Eric, what you got there?
So I was working on this today. This is the start of my promo piece for my Shadow Sentry team. So this is like a team shot. This will be my first piece of promo art for Shadow Sentry.
Shadow Sentry.
Sentry. Yep. Yeah. So I'll just be finishing this up a little bit while I'm with you guys.
Yeah, Eric. Don't you introduce yourself?
All right. You cut out there a little bit, but I think you said introduce yourself. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Cool. Yeah, my name is Eric Ninaltowski. I have been a professional comic artist for about 10 years. I got my start with Mike back in like 06 or something like that, working on Hand of the Morningstar when he was starting Alias Comics. So that was like a 8-volume series of like Manga America kind of style art, and each book was 150 pages. So Mike did the first 2 books, and then I did all the rest. And so that was my first start, and it was a lot of work, but it was really good. I learned a lot from it, and yeah, so that was how I got my first start. And then yeah, I've just been kind of, taking Mike's advice and doing different things and going to the cons and sell my artwork and making prints and just doing fan art and things like that, and just kind of, I've been able to make my living doing that so far. I'm self-employed, working from home. I got 3 kids, a beautiful wife, and yeah, so I'm looking to make this comic thing, something I can support my family with and do for the long term, and have something that people, enjoy and will follow. So just like the rest of you guys. So that's my goal.
Awesome.
And he's willing to throw away his entire career and come with us.
That is correct.
That is the price you pay.
It is the price you pay. It's the price of entry.
Yeah. we demand you risk it all.
Yeah. But I'd rather, do that and work on my own stuff than, work on Marvel and DC stuff. And, I'd rather do my own stuff. So,
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
talked to a Marvel artist today who's told me the exact same thing.
Nice.
it's rather an unfulfilling dream, isn't it? Like when you're a kid and you're like, oh my, I mean, when I was in 7th grade, in art class, I was asked to design my own business card for the future. And I made a, Marvel Comics employee or whatever artist business card. And, for a fleeting moment in time, it is this exciting dream to be, being fulfilled, but it wears thin relatively quick. I mean, it's not like something that's going to keep you energized for, especially if you're particularly creative. If you're just like, a pencil jockey and you love just being a pencil jockey, then that's, that's fine. Just, get work wherever you can. And if you can get work hired at Marvel or DC and because you love the characters, then that I understand that. But for me personally, I have too many creative things going on in my head. So it loses its luster after a while.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Well, there was sort of this. I knew the whole time. I knew I wanted to like do my own things. Right, that was kind of always my goal. But I mean, you have to be sensible. You have to. You don't have to, but the generally the best course is to go to somewhere like Marvel or DC, pay your dues, gain an audience, learn your craft, and get paid doing it. Expand your own brand and franchise, and then strike out on your own. And that's been my plan since 13, pretty much. And here I am. Yeah,
but it's working for you. I think there's other people that kind of have that plan. I know people who have that plan, but you get stuck on the merry-go-round, and it's especially if at some point you have a family and a mortgage, 2 mortgages, whatever, and you have to make that daily grind just for surviving, and then your hobby, the thing that you've always loved to do, becomes a job, and it's still enjoyable, but that great plan that you had, it never comes to fruition because it's hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Putting it out there, and risking it all. It's not something that a lot of guys can do. I mean, the Image guys jumped out and did that because they were getting these, Jim Lee was getting like $500,000 royalty checks, stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I'm going to risk it all with, a couple $1,000,000 in the bank and my whatever. Yeah. Now, risking it when you're like losing your house, that's a different risk.
Yeah. I was getting some feedback. Yeah, I still am.
Oh, yeah? You're fine here.
I'm here now.
I can hear it.
Ooh. Well, then maybe it's me.
It's Mike and his crappy internet.
It might just be a glitch.
Is that any better?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. No echo for me now.
All right, cool. That was odd.
Yeah, I found my mainstream experience to be a big disillusionment. So I went in there thinking I would be able to take part in the creative process. And me hitting into Marvel is definitely a different time than when you guys were hitting into Marvel. And but I kept trying, like almost from the get-go, putting my mark into it, and I just kept finding myself getting swatted away at every turn. So yeah. I did somewhere around 30 pitches while I was there, including stuff I was working on and trying to influence the books that I was working on. And it was it was on deaf ears. They wouldn't look at the stuff. They had no interest in it, which to me was, you know, half the reason to get into a company like Marvel, to be able to put your mark on some of these things. And then the products themselves just ended up being uninspired. So, you know, I think that, you know, something, well, without saying anything too bad, but I think we could have done a lot more with the properties that I was working on in terms of really building into these big epic stories, but they just kind of ended up being what I felt like fillers for events. And it's like, come on, man, we can do a lot more with these properties, but nobody cared. Nobody was interested in what, you know, the new guy had to say.
Yeah, I was making that argument today. I don't remember what stream. Oh, it was on Elliot's stream. You remember I mentioned how, and you disagreed with me, the sticking things on this regular schedule as far as the Last Jedi was concerned. That for me, it was like on a larger scale, the same thing that happens at Marvel or DC, is you put these things on the monthly grind, and rather than sitting there waiting for someone to come up with, you know, a fantastic idea that just has to be made in a comic book, they're just like, we need to fill space every month. We need to fill space. We need to fill space. And I mean, I say that in the 26 years I've been drawing comic books for Marvel, DC, and whoever else, there's very few books I'd want to read more than once. And it's just sad because that's the majority of the books coming out of Marvel and DC. They're uninspired. They are filler. They're just trying to get stuff out so that they can maintain their monthly schedules rather than, I mean, put some fanboys in there. Get some fanboys who just, you know, every fanboy writer has some 1, 2, 10, 12 ideas of what they want to do with the X-Men, right? But instead they're sticking, like you said, they don't hire. They won't even look at stuff. I pitched stuff, you know, over my career, and I found the same thing, always falling on deaf ears. They, you know, here's your writer. It's like, unless you come into some agreement with your writer that you're going to co-plot or co-write or something, then it's like, dude, you go be a pencil jockey, be an ink jockey, just ride the horse we give you, and then and we'll cut you a check. Yeah.
So for some people that could maybe be satisfying, for, you know, not for somebody really wanting to, not for someone with passion for the properties. So yeah, one of the weird things, like when we were doing Thunderbolts, I was like, early on, I was like, yeah, you know, Citizen V, you know, we could get them in here, we could do X, Y, and Z with them. And you know, the response was like very brief, and it was like, the name is being used in a different book. It's like, why? Everybody wanting Thunderbolts, you know, they're going to want to see some version of Citizen V popping up in here, and they gave it to, I think it was Sunspot, Robert DaCosta, the character. And like, what's wrong with him having his own code name? Stop giving other people's code names.
Yeah,
just garbage ideas, man.
So who are your influences coming up, Sean?
Not the Image guys. So yeah, I was always, Todd was #1 for me, and Rob and Jim were tied for #2. But I mean, I love them all. So even Larson, the early Savage Dragon, or the late Spider-Man stuff, and the early Savage Dragon, the original. I think he did like a 4-issue mini run or something before he started proper. And now I remember Savage Dragon doing this double-page spread flip over these bad guys, and I was like, wow, that is cool. Yeah, back when he cared.
Yeah. Now he just cares about his agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's making Twitter safe for our audience, you know, making sure that bigots, Nazis, and racists are chased out of the comic book industry, and et cetera, et cetera. It's a noble mission. He has a higher calling than Mike Miller.
Yeah. Getting as many conservative fans out of the Image Comics market as possible. It's a high priority for the chief financial officer.
Well, hey, if that is his goal, he is doing a bang-up job. So props. Props to him.
Yeah. Doing a really great job.
Eric, your influences?
The early Image days for sure. I kind of got in on
You
the.
and John are probably around the same age.
Yeah, I'm 35. How old are you, John?
Around there ish.
Cool. Yeah, I got in right, I think, after Jim did the X-Men run, and then I kind of came in when Image started, and then, yeah, I loved Larson's stuff, too. I can picture in my head that scene that you described when he's flipping over those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool.
Does he have Uzis in his hand?
What's that?
Did he have Uzis in his hand?
I think he does a flip, and I think he grabs the dude's head and like flops him over him.
Or I think does he smash his head through the wall?
Yeah, maybe that was the follow-up action.
Yeah, I think I have that on my computer's like screensaver.
Oh, if you can find a screen share, that'd be cool because I'm trying to look it up.
Really? Yeah. Let me find it. Yeah, and then Mark Silvestri too for me. I like his stuff.
Yep.
Eric, is that just a breakdown?
Yeah, I'm doing a sketch. I'm kind of inking it with a ballpoint pen, and then I'm gonna blow it up and then re-ink it on 11 by 17. But this is just on half of a 8.5 by 11. So this is what I showed Edwin Boyette in Hawaii, and he dug this layout. So that's what I'm going with. I have this one too, more like straight up and down. But he's like, no, go with this one. It's got better movement. And
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
Oh no!
Well,
hey, Edwin, how's it going?
What's going on, Mr. Mingler?
Not much.
Aloha.
Aloha. Have you tried crossing swords with a Balrog again, or did you give up?
No Balrogs.
How was the tug stream?
It was good, man. His house got hit by lightning the other day, and he had just spent like $1,200 on a computer.
Oh,
I think he had only had it like a week or two and fried dead.
Oof.
was there any? Is there anything he can do about that? Was it like under warranty? Is that covered under warranty?
No.
Golly.
Yeah.
You gotta eat it. Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
So is this the image you're thinking of, John?
Oh, hold on.
Can you see that?
Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's it.
Yeah. So he's like grabbing his head right here, and then I think the next one he's shoving it through a wall or something.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then there's that shot. That was kind of cool.
Not a double page though, huh? Was that a single page?
It looks like a single page, yeah.
Yeah,
you can see the other.
Yeah, love that.
We're looking at some rowdy reptile. Is this before it became porn?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's like early like first. That might be the first issue. Is it the first, Eric?
That I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look, but it's definitely in like, yeah, I think it's yeah, it might be
first 4 or 5, definitely.
Yeah, because the second one I think Bedrock is in from the Youngblood, and then the third one was like Super Patriot or something.
Mm.
Those are good days.
Image was fun. Yeah. Image was fun when I was a kid.
Eric's work was better then.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he cared. Yeah.
GRP poll for Canadian $5 says, I was about to accuse Edwin of cheating on you with Tug, but he's here now. Hail Mike, hail John, hail Mitch. Hi, Eric. You don't get a hail yet, Eric.
What's that?
He said, you don't get a hail yet. You only get a hi.
It's all good.
Oh.
Hi.
Thomas Fitzpatrick asked, oops. How much longer is the For the Troops staying at $80? I'd like to buy in there, but my pay got screwed up this week. Any chance it will be available next Friday? Yeah, it will. I'm not taking this stuff down until I'm ready to go to print. So, so yeah, you have some time. I'm on page 37. So it is, you know, it's creeping up on you. I got 9 pages to go. 8, wait, bad math. 11 pages to go. GR people again for $2. I forgot. Hail Edwin. Follow with the frowny face.
Oh, no need for a frowning face. Thank you, GR people. I appreciate it.
Nasser's in chat and he asked a good question. Why is the goal for most artists work for hire instead of creator owned?
Because we start as fans. We start as fans and we want to work on these characters that we've drawn for free for 20, 30 years before we ever had the chance to draw them for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a dream, you know. It's like you're a Lord of the Rings fan, and then you grow up and you get to be in the Lord of the Rings movie. Are you going to be like, oh no, man, I'd way rather just make my own movie?
Well, I think yeah, some people are motivated by that prestige. Like my wife worked in wife worked as a television director and a producer for 18 years, and you would be surprised by how little some of the people get paid in television production. But they do it for the prestige, right? So that they can say they work for a television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, getting to say I worked on Wolverine, you know, that was a dream come true for me. For, you know, little Mike, young Mike, that was like my most exciting thing. I don't know if ever, but I still remember the first thing when I first got work and my first little thing, and it was something I just inked, right? It was the cover of Arrow. Tom Dorenick drew it, and just seeing that little 1-inch picture of it printed in previews, I was like over the moon. I was like, look, I'm in print. And it was like just that advert solicitation in previews. It was only 1 inch tall. But yeah, it all gets old pretty quick.
You got the mustache coming in there. A little Inigo Montoya action there.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lunch lady.
Yeah, they're making fun of me on the last chat. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's it. That's what it looks like.
We'll let you catch a break then.
Mitch had to leave the last chat. He was so upset.
Yeah. They rode me pretty hard, and I had to leave for a cry.
Oh no.
Dynamo in chat says, John, read the Glass Door reviews of Marvel. It's brutal. It seems like everyone hates working there, and they just apply to transfer into Disney TV division. What's Glass Door?
It's a Glassdoor is a website that allows employees to write reviews, I think anonymously, of their employers, so you can get like a look inside.
Oh no! The Almighty Jack says, Edwin, how dare you open fresh wounds? Apologize now. Okay, Mitch, I am so sorry if you're still feeling some psychic shock and some sensitivity over jibes or anybody making fun of your facial hair.
Yeah. Well, I'll consider your apology and I'll get back with you at the end of the show.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Edwin, do you want to get into that red heifer thing?
Oh yeah, that's kind of nuts, yeah.
Well, I had heard like decades before that they had already had them, but is this like a different?
Well, let's see. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this article up. And now, Mike, for people who may not be scripturally literate, what could potentially be like a ramification of a red heifer?
Okay, a red heifer, according to the Bible, is what must be sacrificed in order to dedicate the opening of the temple. and there have not been any red heifers in existence for some 2,000 years or so. And I don't know, I had heard before that they were trying to breed some because they want to rebuild the next temple. And they've got like all the tools and all of the they've been making plans. They've been putting stuff together to rebuild the next temple. The problem is there's this thing on the Temple Mount. And there's a population of 1.7 billion people on the planet that wouldn't be very happy about it being removed or destroyed. So not quite sure what they're going to do, but those of us who believe in biblical prophecy understand that the temple must be there for Christ to return.
Yeah. There's a sequence of events, and to me, actually, the scarier part of that is when the temple is rebuilt. That someone will stand in the temple and commit blasphemy. Yeah.
Abomination of desolations. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Red heifers feature in end time tales in both Christianity and Judaism. Is the red heifer mentioned in the book of Daniel?
Oh, I don't remember specific.
Interesting. The cow's birth and sacrifice is said to precede the construction of the third temple in Jerusalem. And the third temple's construction, following the destruction of the previous two, heralds the arrival of the Jewish Messiah. While some evangelical Christian theologians have linked the building of the third temple to Judgment Day. Well, I guess if you want to condense it down.
Well, 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah. Rabbi, is that Kayan? Rabbi Kayan Richman, director of the Temple Institute, hailed the red heifer's birth as suggestions the time could be right for the third temple. Temple Institute announced the birth of the red heifer on their YouTube page with the video Red Heifer Candidate Born in Israel. It includes a video of the red calf and its mother, revealing a perfectly red heifer was born in the land of Israel. The cow went under extensive examinations by rabbinical experts who confirmed she is a viable candidate for the biblical red heifer. They admitted, however, the cow could be disqualified through natural causes.
Natural causes?
Yeah. Well, if there's like an imperfection, prophecy in the Hebrew Bible. Yeah, states the cow must be red without blemish, must not have worked.
Yeah, what's it called? Been put to the yoke or something like that.
Yeah, must not have been worked, period. It is claimed there have only been 9 true red heifers, and the 10th will herald the construction of the third temple. I've never heard that. Maybe that's like a Talmudic thing or something. I'm not aware of that. The Temple Institute believes a red heifer will need to be, does that say scarified? I wonder if that's supposed to be sacrificed. I think there's some typos in this article. Will need to be, because scarified would be like running a sander over it. So I don't think the cow needs to be sanded. Will need to be sacrificed to complete the ritual of purification for the temple, heralding the coming of the Jewish Messiah. Red heifers have previously been found by the organization, who have then disqualified them for not meeting prophetic standards.
No kidding. Okay. So that's what I had heard about before.
Yeah. One was found in 1999, but was disqualified for being male. Yeah, I guess.
There you go. That's a good. But hey, that's how you start your breeding stock, right?
Yeah. And a second was born in 2002, which was found to have a patch of white hair. Rabbi Kamen says, does this perhaps mean that the appearance of a red heifer in these waning end times is an indication, a forerunner of the appearance of the Messiah himself, who will officiate at its preparation? maybe.
All that part being in the scripture. Officiate that.
Yeah.
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 Where is the scripture located?
Well, you'd have to. Well, talking about the 10th heifer.
Or is this Talmudic? Or is this?
Oh, the red heifer? No. Oh, no. It's like in Leviticus.
That would probably come from Leviticus. Yeah.
Yeah. It's how you have to dedicate the temple, and then the scriptures about the temple being in existence when Christ comes. That's like, he comes and he sets his foot upon the temple. So it's like, yeah, set your foot on something not there.
I might be eating a red heifer right now. My wife brought me a burger.
Yeah,
and it's a little red in the middle.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
I had burgers.
Delicious.
Okay, all right. So it looks like this might be in Numbers. Yeah, Numbers 19, 1 through 10. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord hath commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and they bring thee a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came yoke. And ye shall give her, okay, so now you understand completely, it has to be a female cow.
What if it's a bull that identifies as a cow?
And you shall give her unto Eleazar the priest, that he may bring her forth within the Seged.
Eleazar,
okay, that he may bring her forth without the camp, and one shall slay her before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take the blood of her with his finger, and sprinkle of her blood directly before the tabernacle of the congregation 7 times. And one shall burn the heifer in his sight, her skin and her flesh, and her blood with her dung shall he burn. Okay, so it's not prepared. Does that make sense? And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet, and cast it into the middle of the burning of the heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards he shall come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the evening. And he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in waters, and bathe his flesh in water, and he shall be unclean unto the evening. And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer.
Well, we know it won't be Doug to Naples.
Good call. Yeah, we know. Yeah. And so that's where the red heifer comes from.
Yeah, so you can't dedicate the temple when it's rebuilt without a red heifer, which is probably why. I mean, they have all of the plans to rebuild the temple, and they've, like I said, they've made like the all the stuff for the sacrifices. They like all the tools and all the utensils, whatever you call them. But they haven't started, and they have the plans. They have all the plans, and they're just kind of, that's what the Temple Society does. And they're just kind of sitting there waiting. I'm not sure for, I don't know. Not sure for what. Mike is Christian, his wife and kids are Jewish. My wife and kids are Messianic Jews, so they're just the same as all the original disciples. They were all Messianic Jews. They didn't even call themselves Christian until years later. They were just Jews. They were, fulfilled Jews.
Was your wife raised a Messianic Jew?
No, she was raised Jewish, and then her dad. This is a funny thing. Her mom converted to Judaism to marry her dad, and then her dad became a Christian. And yeah, she was raised Jewish, and then eventually her dad kind of tried to lead her to the Lord. But it was really after we got married that she eventually really actually accepted Christ.
All right, and so for people who haven't read the Revelation to John, there's a sequence of events, right? And whether you believe it's real, whether you believe it's prophecy, or whether you believe, it's just literature, there is a definitive sequence of events in that particular scripture. And so before before the Antichrist can poke his head in, and before a series of events can happen, the temple has to be rebuilt. Before the temple can be rebuilt, there has to be a red heifer, right, to consecrate, like you say, to consecrate the temple. Mike,
So how much time do we have exactly?
Don't know.
Yeah. Well, if anybody tells you that scripturally, they're lying. Yeah.
Yep.
Because no man knows the day or the hour.
So don't take the money from my Indiegogo and run, is what you're saying.
Just
unless you want to answer to Jesus for it.
Yeah. Okay. Just pray it's not in the winter, and then you would be scripturally sound.
Couple super chats. You want to get them, Edwin?
Yeah, and this is from George Asuncion. Mike, will you be doing commissions in Alamo City?
Alamo is the end of October. I imagine I will. I don't know if I'll have time to do pre-show commissions, but if I do, I'll make an announcement, like on my Twitter or my Instagram or something. But yeah, at the show, probably. And there was another one of that too, Hagar.
Oh, was there? Okay, I'll scroll back up.
It's not in the Babylon Bee. It's fake news.
And somebody asked everybody to be introduced. So as you're viewing it on YouTube, going from left to right, the red eagle is Mitch Brightweiser. Hello, Mitch.
Yeah, I'll show my face here so you can see what I look like.
No!
Hello! Yeah.
Hello!
Hello!
And then sitting next to him, the inimitable John Malin.
Oh, well, thank you. Hello, everybody. Nice and glad you're all here.
We're always trying to come up with fancy words before we introduce people on the Aloha Hour.
And then dead in the middle, Eric. Eric's
the indefatigable.
Yeah, indefatigable.
Well, what's up? How's it going? I don't know if you could see anything. All I see is my avatar. I don't know how to change that.
No, because your camera's not working. Your camera out.
How's that? There we go. I'm back. Well, that's my drawing, but I'm over here, up here.
Drawing works.
Eric looks like a young Vox Day.
Oh man. And Eric has a lovely family. They were just out here in Hawaii, visiting Hawaii. You have a good time out here, Eric?
Oh yeah, it was wonderful, and it was nice to meet you and your wife. It was a good.
Yeah, and so after they came to church with us, and then after church, after the service, his kids were hunting lizards in our church garden.
Yeah,
and then
you cooked them up for a luau, right? Lizard luau.
Yeah. A little gecko musubi. It's the best.
I later saw that picture of the huge turtle that was like in the neighbor's yard on my phone, and that sucker was big.
Oh yeah. That guy's big. And then seated next to Eric is me, Edwin Boyette. Aloha! It is fantastic to be with you once again. And then the one, the only, your generous and gracious host, Mike Miller.
Hey.
Hello. Andrew Anderson wants to come in too, but I really like kind of leaving like 5 is kind of my over the limit for, but we're good. Because the stream gets too big. It's like people don't have a chance to talk. So this is kind of a different sort of a thing we do at the Aloha Hour. So ask to get in early next time. Pro Raven Mods. Hail Mike. Thanks for hosting, Mike. Yeah. So what were you gonna say?
I said there's a couple of interesting projects today. One of our moderators, Chester Busby, actually had a stream composed entirely of fans. So he has started his own stream.
Of like fans?
Yeah, yeah, just fans talking about different comic book issues, different comic gate issues. You know, fans talking to fans. So I was able to catch about the last 15 minutes of that today, and they did an excellent job with it.
Right on, right on. Cool.
What's the name of that? Does he have a name for it?
If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you. I'll grab it.
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. No, I don't know.
Fan Speak. It was called Fan Speak, and I will. Mike, do you mind if I link that into the chat so people can subscribe to it? Yeah.
Can Eric talk about his characters? Eric, your characters. Yes. Tell us all about them.
With pleasure, sir. So, up front we have, this is Glare. She is the only woman of the group, but she controls the power of light. Well, actually, I take it back. There is another girl. She doesn't get a lot of the action stuff, but she's like back at headquarters, and she's blind, but she has heightened hearing, and she kind of hears supernatural stuff, kind of things like that. But anyway, this is Glare. She controls the power of light, which can emanate from her whole body, but she's also able to, in close proximity, kind of use that light to penetrate your mind, and just kind of, I don't know, like you're a deer in the headlights, and she can kind of speak to your mind and reach in there and kind of do whatever she wants. So that's her. Here we have Ganon. He's one of my favorites. He's like a military kind of guy, but he rocks the punk kind of look and style, and he uses guns, and he's got an arm cannon here that he made, and he's just kind of the rebel of the group. I like him. Brazen, he is the first in command. He's the leader. Or I'm sorry, no, he's the second in command. There is another guy, but he's not pictured. But anyway, Brazen here, he has a cool sword of mystical backgrounds, which I get into in the book. This is Mist. He actually is the one who got the sword for Brazen. Then up here we have Deke, or Express. I might just go with Deke. But he is the super flyer. He goes really fast, flies through stuff. And so a little bit of background. The characters here, they all have near-death experiences. And when they come back from the other side, they bring these supernatural powers with them. And so each one has, different abilities that they're able to break the laws that govern us because they've kind of gone to the other side. And so Deke here, he's able to fly, so he defies the laws of gravity as well as momentum. And then Cogent back here, he's a huge dude who also controls momentum. So he could pick up a rock and without even moving his arm, just kind of push it and chuck it as far as he can. So that is the Shadow Sentry. There are more characters, but this is like kind of the core group here that I wanted to just do a promo shot for the book. And yeah, so that is that. That is Shadow Sentry, guys.
Cool. Right on. There's our team book.
You.
Our next team book. George Assumption. Mike, I was going to buy the Jim Lee ticket for Alamo City, but when I heard you are coming, I know that my money would be better spent with you. And you'll probably get to meet the illustrious Mrs. Miller, too. So, bonus. Jill usually goes with me to Alamo City. It's aside from San Diego, it's the only con she actually likes going to. So, thank you, George. I appreciate that. And I think you're right.
Are you going to take the whole family?
Oh no, that's too much.
You should take You should make a Bud the Spud print from your son and have him sign a couple, and see if you could. Yeah, I bet you some Bud the Spud prints would sell.
Yeah, he was very upset with you for not getting back to Bud the Spud the other night.
Me too. We will do that again. In fact, if you're not streaming tomorrow, I can have him come on my channel, and I will stream with him, and we can talk about Bud the Spud. We can do a tour of Bud the Spud.
All right. I'll be streaming tomorrow, but you can still do that.
Cool.
If you like. Yeah, Elijah's doing a Bud the Spud comic strip on Webtoons. So Mike,
Cool.
are you going to ask Jim Lee about that DC live stream? Probably not.
You gotta ask him about being sat in the back though, because that was man.
Well, somebody said that during the beginning of the show, he was actually sitting on the couch. I don't know. Eric probably watched the whole thing. Did you watch that DC live thing, Eric?
I did not.
Wow. Your
Yeah.
your hardcore fandom is slipping.
You're rubbing off on me, Mike. It's finally happening.
Mike Chester has made the call.
Oy vey. All right, I got my mute button here.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to give the call of the Lone Star Squadron. And so I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. Take your headphones off. Turn the volume on your computer all the way down. I will give you a 5-second warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lone Star Squadron! Ho!
Fantastic, Edwin. Edwin, what does your wife think about that?
She thought it was weak.
She thinks I am cognitively deficient, and my dog just scolded me. Every time I do that, she does laps around the table and scolds me. my dog, not my wife.
Oh, brother.
Too funny.
Apparently, there's an Indiegogo called Detective Dead that wanted a shout out. So I tried finding it. I can't find it. So go find it, guys.
Detective Dead.
That is Critias. Now, Critias has been a great member of the community. Okay, he tried to launch this thing, and we looked at it about 2 months ago. His Indiegogo wasn't set up that well, and I told him I was kind of brutal with my criticism. Well, as brutal as I get, and he took it in completely good grace. He got some more of his art done. He revamped his Indiegogo, and he's got it set up right. I think his buy-in point starts at like $10, and for $10 you get a 104-page digital comic, and the art is quite good. It is it's action noir with superpowers too. And the art looks really good. Yeah, but Critias is a longtime member of the Comicsgate community. Super good guy.
We have a Cecil in the chat.
Yeah, I can't find this thing on Indiegogo. I typed in Crimson and Detective Dead and Indiegogo.
Yeah, I've got it. I'll link it in the.
Okay.
So while we're plugging away, we are just one order away from $170,000 on Red Rooster Golden Age on Indiegogo.com. So if anybody's been on the fence, you can be the person who pushes us over 170K.
Awesome.
And I am still stuck at 86,670.
It's okay.
That alternate cover really boosted like for a full week. It really boosted sales for like a full week. What are you gonna say, John?
No, I was saying it's okay, Mike. Graveyard Shift hasn't moved either.
Thank you.
You've got contributions within the last couple of hours. Oh, Jetsabel Mejia contributed to you. That's cool. She's a nice person. Craig Hawkins, I recognize that name. James Barn, Dustin Early, XGal08. Oh, cool. A lot of very familiar faces and names. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a completely dead day. It's gone up. It's just it hasn't gone up in the past much. At least in the last hour. No, but I appreciate it, man. It's still going up, a decent little clip every day. But yeah, there was like a solid week where it was like screaming. it was because of that new cover, I guess. So, how about a fourth cover? No, just kidding.
Oh, you've become Marvel, Mike Miller.
Stretch goal dance partner. Oh, Ed, when you weren't in the other chat, I mentioned that my wife was in LA at a tango competition, a dancing competition, and
oh, cool.
She was in the gold level competition today with her partner, her dance partner, and won. I think she said 3 out of 4.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
me and my wife did some ballroom dancing. But go ahead.
I mentioned that on my YouTube channel, in my older videos, there's a few of her dancing Argentine tango, and then suddenly I had a whole bunch of these little comment notifications popping up that people were commenting on my old videos.
That's funny.
And then yes, they started to tear into me about me not being her dance partner, but I'm like,
she's dancing with replacement Mike.
Replacement Mike? What? No.
That's what I'm calling him. Replacement Mike.
If she's gold level, though, that is a lot of practice. That's not like something you show up once a week and you get to that level.
Yeah. No, she's the best. She's fantastic.
Yeah, you can't do that as an enthusiastic amateur. You gotta practice quite a bit for that over years.
Yeah. I'm not going to
show it. Mitch, you gotta check your IndieGoGo. I think he might be over.
It's not updating yet. Did you do it?
All right.
Do I have to thank you on air? Oh, thank you very much, Eric. Pushing us over 170K. Thank you.
Nice.
We also, Elizabeth and I, back Detective Dead tonight too. So we're helping those guys out.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, you found? Oh, Testosterone Overload put the link in the chat.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's good looking stuff. It's good looking stuff. Sweetheart, can I have Wiggles? A couple of people in the chat want to see the dog.
Mike, what days will you be at Alamo City? I haven't gotten my tickets yet. I do have my tables. I'm not sure. So, but usually I'm there the whole time. When I go to cons, I like to be there like the whole time. So. Yeah, the nice thing about Alamo City is that oftentimes, Apple, the guy that runs it, he treats his guests, whether they're artists or media guests, he treats us all the same. So it's really nice.
All right, so this is the Wiggle dog. We think she's part boxer, part terrier. She was a shelter dog. She's a good girl, though. Good girl. Malin, do you have dogs?
Yeah, I have a little ankle biter Pekingese. So it's my wife's really, but what can you do?
Is it high T?
Yeah, it's the highest T ankle biter you'll ever find. I did read that these Pekingese dogs, I think they're Chinese, that royalty, they used to be a dog of royalty, and that they would actually keep them in their sleeves while their arms were crossed to keep their hands warm.
Nah.
Yeah. And I also heard another, which I don't really believe as much, but it said that as a last line of defense, the royalty would throw the dog at the attacker.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Egg is asking me if I'm still good for Grand Rapids Con in November. I think so. I'm next year. I mean, if we get this stuff going regular and solid, and the IndieGoGos don't peter out, I don't suspect they will, but if they don't, gosh, everyone's trying to get me to get Cecil in here.
Well, you know what, Mike? I'm gonna have to cut out soon anyway. My wife's gonna go sleep, and I'm like in the next room, so I can cut out if Cecil wants to come in.
Cecil, do you want to come in? Or is it just the fans?
Mike, I'm just gonna let you know, Cecil's been drinking tonight.
Oh no.
A lot.
Yeah. He was, yeah.
Now I'm scared. Oh no! A wild Cecil has appeared.
Hello.
Hello, Cecil. How are you?
No, I am quite fucked up.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, didn't take long.
Can you watch the language?
I'm sorry. What's going on?
Did you get drunk because you felt so bad about abusing Mitch?
I didn't abuse Mitch at any level at all.
No, Cecil was kind and gentle. It was everybody else.
I've always had that opinion that everybody else is a jerk. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
It's got me this far.
So where
Cool.
I am quite drunk though right now. I'm going to pass out soon, but I just wanted to stop it and say hello.
Well, we appreciate it.
Cecil, what have you been doing? Where are you at now?
I'm at home. Tonight was a Friday in. This is like after Labor Day. Everybody's been inviting me on, but during like the actual summer, I'm actually busy, but everything came to a grinding halt. So Friday night, I'm actually free. I had a couple things I could have done, and I spent it online with everybody, and I had fun. It was a good night.
Awesome. Yeah, I read somewhere, I think in chat, you said you've been making the rounds on a lot of channels, and
yeah, because I've kind of been like a MIA for the last month. I pop in here and there, but I've been out in like the real world drinking. And now I'm home alone drinking with you guys.
Well, we're glad you found your way back to your friends.
I will, because winter's coming, you know. And I like to drink whiskey and hang out on the computer and be a jackass. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Well, you're excellent at it.
Oh yeah, no, I took classes. Yeah.
Junior college, right?
Yeah, I majored in being a jackass online.
So, Cecil, what do you think about the passing of Burt Reynolds?
I'm upset by it, you know. But I mentioned earlier tonight, I said all my life I wanted to look like Burt Reynolds. I ended up like Dom DeLuise. You know, that's my curse. That's my cross to bear. And but good for Burt. I love Deliverance. Deliverance is actually one of the most disturbing horror movies of all time. People don't consider it a horror movie, but it is. And my favorite line is when the hillbilly is raping Ned Beatty. And he says to him, "Take off your clothes." And then Ned takes off his clothes and he's in the tighty whities, and he goes, and the hillbilly goes, "Them panties too." And even now, years later, there's nothing worse than a hillbilly calling Ned Beatty's tighty whities panties. Because once he said them panties too, you were like, "Oh fuck,
No,
this is going."
So,
I'm sorry. I forgot. I that's not a. I can't even curse on that one.
You're trying, Cecil.
That's not a lie. I honestly, I'm sorry. Well,
so I watched Deliverance. You know, I didn't watch Deliverance till later on in life, actually. And I don't know. I always thought it was going to be like this super, super dark movie. But, you know, maybe if I would have watched it as a kid, maybe it would have, I don't know, corrupted me more. But, yeah, I mean, I remember that scene. I was like, oh, that's it. But whatever. I guess I grew up in the age of Saw and Hostel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but there was a realism and a horror to Ned Beatty.
Yeah.
It was, and also he was Lex Luthor's assistant in the Richard Donner movies for
Yes.
Great actor, but he really took it in a pooper, and they rode him around in the mud, and it always bothered me. It always
they were following Doug's advice, go in from behind.
Right. I noticed that none of those hillbillies, after they had their way with Ned Beatty, none of them washed their hands.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to draw any kind of conclusion or inference, or I'm just it's a casual observation.
Yeah, if anyone goes and sees Doug at a convention, just bring your own hand sanitizer. So yeah, and then use it right there in front of him after you shake his hand, and just look at him before you walk away.
Make eye contact. Or just, shake his hand with one of those little like plastic robot claw things. With the
no, bring like a little wet nap to shake his hand.
Well, for me, like Burt Reynolds will always be the bandit. Yeah.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I need that on DVD. That and Cannonball Run. I haven't seen Cannonball Run since I was a kid.
No, yeah, me either.
I heard somebody describe, and it was kind of funny, but also mean, but also funny. They watched Cannonball Run as a going away party for Burt Reynolds' career.
Aww.
Like everybody showed up and they had fun, but it was like the end. And there's a certain truth to it. Although he was great in Boogie Nights, and he was nominated.
Best Little Whorehouse in Texas after Cannonball Run.
He did. He married Lonnie Anderson from WKRP in Cincinnati, and then he was hooked up with what's her name, Dolly Parton, and Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and yeah, he had a fun time. Listen, we should all be so lucky to suffer as much as Burt Reynolds.
Did he really get with Dolly Parton in real life?
I mean, I don't have confirmation, but I'd say probably, yeah.
How's it going, Ben? Ben Jones is here, everybody.
Yeah, I was just letting Cecil get his run in. Chilling in the background. I was rushing home.
It reminds me of, if I may, I'm gonna try not to curse, but there was a great comedian, and I saw him at Madison Square Garden. Him and Dave Chappelle. It was a guy called Bob Schimmel. Do you remember him? Anybody remember Bob Schimmel? He died tragically, but he had his whole life is tragic. Believe it or not, he was the headliner, and Dave Chappelle was the opener at the Garden. I saw him years ago, and Bob Schimmel had a tragic life. His son had leukemia at 12, and the Make-A-Wish, he was dying, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation came to his house, and they said, what is your wish? And he said, I leaned over to my son, and I said, tell them you want to see Dolly Parton give your dad a blowjob. It was one of the darkest jokes I've ever heard, but the whole garden exploded into laughter. Anyway, sorry, I forgot about the Aloha. I tried to preface it.
Oh,
preface it. Gojira 5 for $2. I'm sorry, Mike and Mitch. I'm sorry too.
I apologize. I'm gonna just shut up for a minute.
Ben, you launched your IndieGoGo while you were at work?
Yes. I tried to time it just right, but my wife had some battery problems with her car, so I had to rush out there, replace the battery, get the car back. It was like, perfect timing, everything to fall apart. But
no, everybody talks about it on Ethan's stream and now on this stream, and I think even on Tug's stream they mentioned it. So you're still getting the rounds even though you weren't there.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I really appreciate that, because I'm a one-man show over here, so any help I get, I take it.
Yeah, well, we got the link up in the chat right now. Ben, do you want to pitch it?
Oh, You're gonna throw it on me just after work, huh? I've been looking at numbers all day.
That is correct.
All
How
right,
we do
Asgard is a father-daughter story. After a father gets bonded with the magical hammer of Mjolnir, he has to make choices to save his daughter or save the rest of the 9 realms. But the twist is it's a daughter that he denied was his originally, and after she becomes a teenager, he now knows that this is his actual daughter, so he has to try to bring that relationship back between father and daughter while dealing with a mythological war going on Earth. I can't wait to get you guys to read it.
Is that like Ragnarok?
No, I don't know. Are you talking about Ragnarok the movie or Ragnarok the book? Because I haven't read Ragnarok the book.
the like,
or the actual Ragnarok.
the myth, yeah, the mythological.
It's a bit more intricate than just Ragnarok. Without giving it away, there's multiple pantheons in this, so different mythological end of days theories are coming into play. It won't just be as our Norse mythology. There's Greek, there's Egyptian, there's Hindu, among a couple of others. So, and Christianity makes a play as well.
Cool. Bagel Goose for $2. Tell another joke, Cecil.
Oh,
Joke. I don't have any.
No.
A joke.
Hold on. Chicken Sith for $2. Ben's Asgard is kicking Aloha already.
I have a joke. It's like this is kind of okay for Aloha Hour because it's like a kid's joke. Gather all your children around the radio. Why does the Little Mermaid wear seashells?
why?
Because she grew out of her bee shells. That's for the kids.
That's
for the
good.
kids.
That's for the. These are the jokes, people.
These are the jokes. I'm trying to tone it down here. I'm not really...
I appreciate the effort.
Cecil only runs at 11, and we're asking him to be at a 3. So that was awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
my nose started bleeding during that.
That's the blow.
Oh,
Hey,
Yeah,
Mike, I gotta hit it.
All right.
I will see you guys. Oh, hey, before I forget, I do want to let your watchers know I'm gonna do a Lone Star headshot tomorrow. I might do a few, but I'll give those away for free. So if they want to do that, it's probably gonna be around. Yeah, I'll do it live. It'll be around 4 o'clock ish. And I'll post it on Twitter.
Pacific time.
And okay.
Bye, Eric.
Do you have a channel that it's going to be on, like live streamed?
Yeah, it'll be on my YouTube channel, Eric Nineltowski.
Pixel
You need to
Trader,
spell it
can
out,
you
'cause
put that up there?
spell
You can spell it. Nineltowski. Ninaltowski.
Yeah, just shorten it.
I know. I keep telling him, but he doesn't listen.
All right. I'll listen.
No, you won't.
Cool.
All right, Eric.
Hey, guys, thanks so much.
Night, Ben.
Peace.
Oh, and thank you for all the birthday wishes I'm seeing in the chat. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate
Oh,
it.
happy birthday, Ben.
Yeah, I was trying not to count them anymore, but people won't let me live it down.
What are you up to?
42.
That's not bad.
You young buck. How old
Yeah.
are you? Cecil's like in his 20s.
No, I'm in my late 30s. I'm not 42 yet, but soon.
I'm the
Well,
old guy.
we can.
I mean, I hope I'm not. I hope I do have a heart attack before then. But if not, I will. I'm doing everything humanly possible to drop dead before 42. But if I make it, I'll be happy, I guess.
We don't want you to do that, Cecil.
Well,
We
Ben,
want you to
can
be
you
around a long time.
can you confirm for us, Ben? Does black crack?
Oh, yeah, it does. I mean, it's rare, but when it does, it's bad. It's real bad.
It just like saves up the knot cracking for decades and decades and decades, and then suddenly it just crumbles.
Yeah, there's a wall you hit. I mean, there's no gradual graceful, just like you're slowly gracing into age. You hit a sudden wall, and you become a fixture from the movie Chud. It's just like, oh.
Wow. Actually, there's a judge on TV, Hatchet. Does anyone know who that is, Judge Hatchet?
Yeah.
I was watching her today, and like, man, she got old fast. I mean, maybe I don't regularly watch her show, but I remember her from back in the day, and I saw her today. I had to look her up. I was like, holy cow. Yeah, age hit her pretty quick.
Yeah, my wife hates it because she'll show pictures of me, especially when I shave and I'm actually all cleaned up, and everybody's like, "Ooh, how much younger than he is to you?" And she's like, "He's older than me." And then the rest of the women just kind of shuffle away from her. I held it over her head all the time.
Well, Malin, now you know where holy cow comes from. A holy cow is the red heifer.
Oh, is that true?
Oh,
I don't think that's true. Pulling your lariat.
Come on, Edwin, I'm going to hear this. I'm going to repeat it, and someone's going to call. I'm going to try coming off all smart. Hey, you know what, man? Are you into religion? Yeah, dude. Well, let me tell you what. You know where they get the word holy cow from? Oh, where? The red heifer. What? God, set me up.
You heard it from a trustworthy source.
So I saw a couple of chats of somebody asking about the international shipping on Asgard. We're pushing that into a stretch goal. So at the 15K mark, I'll open up the tiers for international shipping. This isn't my first rodeo dealing with crowdfunding, and I'm making sure that I have enough money and everything taken care of for the extravagant shipping costs to overseas. And this is just to make sure I have the money to be able to get you your projects without me having to go to the wife and say, yes, I need more money.
Oh, that's good. We were talking about that earlier, and I was worried about your shipping costs and for like 100 and what page graphic novel?
Well, it's you must be talking about the $40 tier. You get the 0 issue that's 72 pages, and currently this book is 48 pages. So it ends up being like 125 pages of comic that you can get.
And what's your shipping cost?
10.
Oh, okay.
So it's not too bad. I'm probably going to take a little bit. I'm kind of splitting the difference between the backers and myself. I'm not in this to make to get rich off of it. I just want the book in as many hands as I can, and that's my ultimate goal. Making profit is a nice thing, but I just really want the book in as many hands as possible.
Well, that's the thing. Making a profit makes it possible for you to get other books in their hands.
Correct. My profit margin is, my overhead is fairly low because I'm the penciler, inker, and writer, but it still costs. It really and truly, it almost feels the shipping costs the most out of everything.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Are you using Gemini mailers, or what are you using to ship yours in, Ben?
I am looking at something else. The Gemini mailers look good just for the actual books, but because I have certain tiers with a 12 by 19 metal print, I'm looking at the Uline White Easy fold mailers because
that's what I use.
12 by 1/8 by 9 1/8. If I just use those
exact ones I have,
yeah,
my metals.
So, and it gives me the correct a good enough depth to get at maximum both books plus the print. So I'm probably going to go that route. The price difference is about 20 cents difference between the Geminis, but I think I'm going to fail on the Geminis as far as dealing with sizes. So I'd rather have the size right where I can just get these little boxes made and go, so I can get these things shipped.
And you've done this before. Have you ever mailed with Geminis? I've
mailed a few things with Geminis before.
Are they more expensive than shipping flat mailers because a flat mailer counts as an envelope?
No, because it goes by weight.
Oh, okay.
So you have to pay attention to how heavy. Like the Geminis weren't that heavy, but I think they were heavier than the envelope. So that's going to increase your price. It's always going to go by two things. If you use USPS, it's going to go by whatever zone they're in. I'm just talking
Right.
domestically. The zone and the weight of the if you use the slowest snail mail version, it's going to go by that weight and whatever zone you're shipping to. So
Right.
I
But I had
just
to-
backed it right now while I was on the
well, thank you, Cecil. I appreciate
line
it.
with you guys.
Did you get the biggest one?
No, I got the cheapest one. The $25 one. What do you think?
Oh, Cecil, yeah, you should have got the 40, man. You get like 100-page book there, or combined. Oh well, Cecil back for $35. Thanks,
I
Cecil.
could always re-up, but I wanted to get in on the first day. Right
All
away.
right, so I am looking at the most recent backers to Asgard, and the most recent backer is in fact DICK in comics, Mr. Cecil himself. Right before that was Matt Hayes. Right before that was Mitch and Elizabeth Breitweiser. Right before that was Todd Crawford. And then right before that was Sean Campbell. Sean Campbell is the fellow who made the Ferryman comic book.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are getting massive love from the community.
Yes, I am. It's much appreciated. I mean, the first 15 minutes, I was making like $100 a minute, and I was like, "Oh my god, what? This is kind of crazy." Because I did well on my Kickstarter the first time for the first book. So, and this one was just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna step away," because I was doing some stuff at work at the time. So I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna go do stuff."
This is great.
listen.
I'll promote it. I'm going to step out, but I will be promoting this whenever I can.
Thanks, Cecil.
All right,
He'll
guys.
try to remember that he said that in the morning.
Yes. If I forget, send me a tweet and I'll remember.
Oh, and then
Well,
Ben-
thanks for your maiden voyage on the Aloha Hour, Cecil. It was
Absolutely. I'll make it. I'm sorry I cursed so much. I know that was
fun. We forgive easy here.
no. You made rules and I broke them. That's my bad. I apologize.
tell you what, Cecil, it's eastbound and down.
No,
Loaded up and
listen.
trucking. We're going to do what
believe
they
it or
say
not,
can't be done. We
believe
got
it
a
or
long
not,
way to go and a short time to get there.
You're singing the song from Smokey and the Band.
Just watch old Bandit run.
I know that song, but I try to be a good person, but I did curse. I apologize for that.
Appreciate it and accept it.
All right. Love you guys. Good
All
night.
right,
buddy.
Good night, man.
Nice, Cecil.
Guys, I think I'm gonna head out too. I'm losing steam fast.
Yep. Have a good one.
So I do forgive Edwin for making fun of me. I thought about it long and hard. I've been so quiet.
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
going to let you slide this time.
Yeah.
I
right.
appreciate it.
Well,
Mr.
thank you for
Brown.
backing, Mitch. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're very welcome. I look forward to it. All right. Good night, guys.
Good night, man.
Mitch has had a long day. Everybody's been picking on Mitch. He was on.
He was actually upset about that.
Yeah. Cecil was giving him crap on Ethan's stream about his little beard growing in there. He said he looked like a lunch later or lunch lady.
Lunch lady here.
Oh man.
That was actually Gojirify in the chat said it.
Oh yeah. And then I don't know. Cecil also said the bit about his ingrown hair on his chin.
No, that I think that was Doug, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Doug. He's
I
right.
know. Doug's always making people cry. What's up with that guy?
Yeah. Is Doug ever on Aloha Hour? Did you
Yeah.
guys break up?
Yeah, he's been on here 2 or 3 times, right? Right.
Was this before or after he had his little moment?
Both.
Both, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So Ben has had quite a few backers. Bagel Goose for 35.
Oh.
And I probably always mispronounce this name. So it's Elizabeth. Elizabeth backed him. Raymond Daly backed you for $210, Ben.
Oh, he got the big one. There's 4 of those big ones gone so far.
And then right in our chat, you've got another backer, Patrick Chicken Sith Johnson. Chicken Sith has backed a ton of projects.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Met him in Texas.
All my exes living.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about how can I hook up certain people, maybe even every backer. I like to put secret stuff in my packages, so when you get it, you almost always get something more than what you actually backed. It always depends on what I can afford toward the end and what I can put together. But always expect something else in the package.
Nice.
Mr. John Piner, I don't think he's in the chat today. He bought the books off of Amazon and wanted me to sign them for him. So he sent them to me, mailed them to me with a already postage paid for the mail back. So I just hooked him up if he's listening. I think it arrives tomorrow, but he has 2 metal 9x12 prints in his package as a thank you. He even gave me a handwritten fan letter, man. I was running around the house showing the kids like, look. So that became real cool. So like I said, I hook people up.
Who are you using for your metal prints?
Me, I do my own metal printing.
Oh, really?
Yes. I bought all the stuff and I do it all myself.
No kidding.
Yep.
Do you do it for other people?
From time to time, I try to avoid it because I don't want to become a print shop.
Yeah.
Because friends, they see an opening, they go for it. Like, oh, you can do all of this. But yeah, I have done some stuff for other people. Some small runs and. But right now, the biggest I can do is 12x18, and I can't do any of the like cups and stuff. I only can do the flat pieces.
Where do you get your blanks?
Oh, I have to find it. It's like Digital Graphics something.
Do you order blanks or do you cut to shape?
No, I ordered the blanks.
Now, how much are they?
Hold on, you asking a lot of questions at once.
Well, yeah.
It's like give me all the information you can.
Because we were trying to set that up, me and a couple friends who do cons, and we're like freaking had the hardest time finding, inexpensive blank providers. So.
Well, I don't know how inexpensive he is because he's the only guy I've actually found that actually does it. I'm gonna post it in the Google chat, the link to his website. But he's treated me well, because some places you only can get the white coating and some you only get the clear coating. He has both. If you have like a special order, he'll cut the size for you. Granted, he's going to charge you for it, but
right.
So I've done really well with him. I stack up from him.
Nice. Asami Comics for $2. Check out Asami, Children of Rusu on IndieGoGo. There you go. There's your $2 plug. Check it out. Mike smells an opening. Well, I'm doing metal prints for a couple of my tiers as well. So,
Mike, get all the stuff and do it yourself. It's like $1,200 for the entire setup.
Yeah.
So all the Asgard metal prints that you're including in your IndieGoGo, you've done yourself?
Yes.
All right. So I don't know anything about it. How time consuming is it? So like how long from start to finish, how long will it take you to make all the Asgard metal prints?
This is going to take probably a couple of weeks to get them, depending on how many I get. That's why that tier is limited to a specific number. If you really think about it, it takes for a 12x18, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes to print out. Then I have to align it on the paper, or on the metal sheet, which takes a minute or so, and then it takes another minute under the heat press to actually be done. So it's about anywhere between 3 and 5 minutes per. A lot of times, what I'll do is because I have to print these graphics out first. Some days I'll just sit here and just print. I'm just printing a bunch of them on the special paper that you have to use. So
sublimation paper.
Yeah. So when I get ready to do the actual burn on, I'm already ready to go. So it doesn't take long.
So how many are you doing? Do you know, like roughly?
I am prepared prepared to probably do 200 to 300 of them if I need it.
Yeah, I've got over probably 300 orders for this Indiegogo.
Ben, can you show us what a metal print looks like?
Oh man, I don't know if I have any.
Let's assume people haven't seen these, like me.
Hold on, let me.
Here you go. You got one right here. This is what a metal print looks like when it's.
So it's solid, like metal solid, or
yeah, it's aluminum.
It's aluminum.
Aluminum.
Yep.
Okay.
And it doesn't come off. I've tried turpentine, paint thinner. You can scratch it off, but I mean it.
Yeah, it's coated with polyurethane. You know, it's like car clear coat, and then the ink is actually heat pressed into the actual clear coat itself. So you'd have to like scrape it off to get it off. I mean, you can scratch it, but you'd have to scrape it off to actually get the ink off.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
Yeah, this is one I did for the previous Kickstarter, which this was a special thing, and this was an extra because it screwed up. The printing wasn't coming out right, but you can see even on the quote unquote bad one that it comes out awesome. That's the only kind of prints I deal with now. I don't deal with paper.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that little corner of the market you have there. Now I got to know.
I was at conventions and people was like, "Man, who are you going through for your printing?" And I really wanted just to stay quiet, just like, I don't want to tell you how to do this. I don't want to give away my secrets, but it's
given away now. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, it's given away.
Well, you know what? I have the opinion of. I mean, even when I was telling people that they should do conventions. I don't remember how many I even told, but it's like hardly anybody did it, right? Yeah. So you could probably tell 100 people how to do dye sublimation printing. I haven't even done it yet, and I'm a freaking really like I'm into doing stuff like that, but it's the setup cost for me.
Yeah.
So I imagine if I'm complaining about setup costs, most people aren't even going to touch it.
Yeah, and I'm always like my biggest fear right now. I have all these metal prints and that I'm going to be doing. And what if something breaks?
Mm-hmm.
The heat press, the printer, the computer, there's so many components that could go wrong. And you're like, that might suck.
Yeah. Sierra Whiskey for $1.99. Ben, Asgard looks great. I'm backer number 8. Best of luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm very glad you're going to get a really cool book.
And Jay Simmerly for $2. What's the poster on Ben's corkboard?
On my corkboard, I took one of Joe Mad's, one of his pieces of Hulk versus Thor. I think it was during the Ultimates run that Joe Mad did. And I saw the pencils. I re-inked it, had one of my friends do a new color job on it and made it one huge 24 by 36 poster for myself.
There you go.
The dangers of having an inker nearby. We can make things finished.
Yeah, I actually have an unfinished Mike Wieringo unused Spider-Man cover here that someday I'm going to get around to doing the finishes on. I traded it for artwork, but it'd be pretty cool.
Well, I guess, did Antonio go on tonight? We were going to try to do our thing, but I was going to get home too late.
He was on Ethan's stream.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like a 3-hour stream too. So I think it was long. So
yeah, I saw part of it, but I got busy at work, so I had to start doing other things. So I couldn't remember if he was on or not. But yeah, I missed. I always miss out because I'm the working guy. I'm the one that has to go to a day job and then come back. So I miss out on a lot of the streams and stuff.
What's your day job?
I'm an aerospace engineer.
Oh, wow. Where at?
In New Mexico. I'm working at a NASA facility. So.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Been here almost 10 years. So.
Area 51, huh?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I get asked that question, man. Some people are like, you work at NASA. there's aliens, aren't there? It's like, well, if I knew that, I couldn't tell you. And that just sparks them up even more. They were like, oh, you have a security clearance. They're like, yes. So you know, like, I know they're, and then just walk away.
You're like, no, I know they're listening to me through your phone.
Very good.
Confirmed.
Man. Yeah, it's going through this again. It's always nerve wracking going through these crowdfundings. It's just like,
I don't think you should be nervous, man. Well, you're already up over $3,000. You've already got 48
really?
backers. Yeah,
I
I
just,
tell you what, man.
I don't like
I've had
counting my
Ben on
chickens.
my channel a couple of times, but man, every time I've had you on my channel, people love you, man. So, and
That's weird.
everybody seems to be hyped. Everybody seems to be hyped about Asgard. So yeah, I don't think I'd be worrying too much.
Let me give a little shout out to Brady 28882. Brady's been hooking all of us up the last couple of days. He donated to Asgard a fat $210.
Oh, another big boy.
Ooh.
I didn't think many of those would sell. I was like,
Get ready.
What is that tier?
The one just the bottom one, man. You get the metal bookmark, 9x12 metal print, a 12x18 metal print, both Asgard Zero covers, one by Brett Booth, one by me, both Asgard #1 covers, one by David Finch, one by me, and you get a 9x12 sketch.
That is an awesome tier.
So, yeah, last time I did 11 by.
It limited to 25, huh?
Yeah, there was a reason why, because those sketches. I did 11 by 17 sketches last time, and I'm like, no, not going down that road again.
No, you should have just done like a little head sketch. That's what Ethan offered. That's what I'm offering.
Yeah, it's going to be
like 1,000 of them.
Oh God, I'm not. No, that's why. Like, no, I'm not doing it.
1,000 times $200. That's worth it.
But I try. Like I said, I try to give people a little bit more than what they expect. Plus, my name's not EVS. My sketch won't carry any weight.
It don't matter. I mean, 2 of those metal prints plus those books. I mean, and I imagine they're both signed, right?
Oh yeah, the Brett Booths are signed by him as well.
Oh no, jeez.
All right, so Ben, I've got a question from the chat, and I probably know the answer. The question is from Jeffrey Blasiman, and he says, "How did you get David Finch?" My guess is money.
Well, I know Antonio asked me that as well. What I told him was magic, fast talk, and money.
And money, but probably mainly money.
Yeah. The story was I caught him at a convention. He was here in El Paso. No, he was here in Las Cruces, and it's a small convention. And when my buddy actually owns the convention, so he's like, "Yeah, I got Finch coming," and I was essentially trying to make as much money that day to get a David Finch sketch. So I caught him at the very end of when he was getting ready to go. And I was talking to him. It's like, man, I would really love to have a David Finch sketch for my cover. All I need is pencil. You don't, because he was doing on his sketches, he was actually inking some of them. I was like, dude, just do pencil. I'll ink it up. And he seemed kind of hesitant about it. And then I talked to him. Listen, I know you're under exclusive. I don't think it'll affect you because I've also got Brett Booth on the previous one. So I laid what Brett had did, and I showed him the cover of the book. He's like, "Oh wow, you can really ink." I was like, "Yeah." So he's like, "You know what? Okay, I got you." And it was like, I'm not even gonna say how much, but I'm not even gonna talk about it. It pissed my wife off for a weekend. Let's put it that way.
The DJD show says, Ben, I'm going to back you a few times, even more than I did Malin.
Yeah. Show him the little guy can take on the big guy.
You said great art sells me. Oh, burn.
This is the cover by Finch.
Nice.
Or this is the Isn't that sure?
He's great. He's great.
What do you ink with, Ben? What do you ink and color with?
Well, if I'm inking these days, I used to ink with Raphael's and Winsor Newton miniatures when I was doing traditional inks. Now I'm just all digital now. Like that, any work you see now is all digital to me. I in coloring, I do Photoshop, and my colorist he goes by King Bola, Edward Bola. I think is his real name. I've been dealing with him for about almost 6 years. I want to say.
Why doesn't he
on and
just
off.
go by Ebola?
I don't. Yeah, we already went through that before. But I thought about putting the Finch original and the Finch or the Brett Booth original up there for like a grand, like $5,000, just to see if somebody would do it. And I said, knowing my luck, somebody's going to buy that, and I'm going to be upset because I'm going to lose my 2 originals.
Yeah.
So it didn't get put up there.
String occasionally $4.99. Ben, I'm in Acadiana.
Where's
I
that?
think near your roots. Had fried okra and an oyster po' boy today.
They're from Arcadia. Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
that's not what it says.
Acadiana. I don't know that one.
Gonna back Asgard. So
Cool.
we're getting
thanks.
all the backers tonight.
Well, I hope so. You guys made enough. Share the love.
Well, I'm just excited that this space keeps growing. We keep bringing more and more new talent, great talent, into this space, and they're getting backed and they're getting funded, and I mean, I don't know, is there no end to this? I mean,
I was
There
a little
doesn't
nervous.
have to be.
I was nervous about that because I'm the second wave, I guess, would be for the Comicsgate guys. And I was like, listen, I think Antonio and we're kind of in that same tier of, we don't have all the accolades. Granted, Antonio has Kanan, so Kanan has built up a following online, but I felt like I was coming in very cold in comparison to everyone else. It's like I'm just a guy in comparison. I don't have Marvel and DC on my resume. I don't have any other books other than mine on my resume, and I was like, this is going to really be the tell of the tape. Can a guy, and I do have talent, I recognize how I do have talent, but can that push me along and survive that river? And it so far so good. I'm very surprised at how well it's kicking butt right now.
yeah, looks good. Rhaegar Targaryen for $1.99. Joe Madureira's work for Darksiders is legendary.
Yes,
We
it is.
all know that.
Lone Star update. Emiliano Orola, probably butchered that. $33. Anonymous, $40, and Josh L, $50. All
Wow,
within the
nice.
last 40 minutes. So
Moving.
Lone Star is on the move.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate that. Thanks, John, for calling them out, too.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to cut this short. My wife actually got me food. She wants to make sure her husband is well fed. But if you guys have any streams tomorrow and through the weekend and through the week, I actually took vacation for the next 6 or 7 days, so I'm completely awake and off. I don't have to fight for time. If you want me on, I'm happy to show up. Let's talk comics. I would love to sit down and especially talk with John and Mike about the comic creation side, get to pick you guys' brains because I felt like I was learning on the fly. Edwin,
Yeah, let's do that tomorrow. I'm not on Sundays.
Okay. And Edwin, I love talking to you, man. I heard the comment on your little last live stream about Chair Force. Don't think that slid by me. It's always you Army guys that always want to take shots.
I hit you in the drive time.
Yeah, and this is what I tell Army guys. It's like, listen, you're an E3 and I'm an E3. We get paid the same. You get shot at, I'm playing PlayStation. Who made the right choice?
Absolutely.
But thank you all the backers, man. You got my heart pumping, man. I wish I could just draw a whole new book right now. But this one's getting ready to come to you. I have everything ready to go. So, and I appreciate all the streams allowing me to show up and talk about my book and helping pumping me up. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday, Ben, I'd probably be down. Let me just kind of free do it. So I got to see what the wife wants to do tomorrow. And
Yeah.
but when I know, I'll let you know. I'll just shoot something on Twitter. So
Yeah. Hey, Sunday might be a little weird because I'm watching football. I gotta watch my Cowboys. But
you need to prioritize. You're on launch week now, buddy.
yeah, that's
Football
no, I
is
know.
bye-bye. This is
But
where you
I
capitalize.
I can spend 2 hours watch my game and come.
Oh,
you can't.
Even my wife is looking at. If you ever saw my wife looking at me on the corner, she's like, you're
yeah.
gonna be working. It's like, yeah.
You better get that money. You better go get that money.
Because it will taper off, and then you're going to be wishing that you would have pushed harder in the beginning because you weren't.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what's going to happen after he pulls the plug. His wife's going to tune him up and recalibrate his priorities, and then it'll be all.
Ben. See you Sunday, Ben.
Hey, I know John has the Asgard Zero, so he's seen that the dedication to my wife in there. There's a reason because she was the engine behind me, poking me in the back of the head. Have you drawn this page? Have you done another page? Have you gotten more inks done? I was like, oh man, I got an editor in the house.
Hey, you know what? Some of us need that.
And
it's going to be sad. We're going to see him tomorrow with a black eye. She's going to tune him up. You better get that money. You better get that money, Ben.
Yeah, probably.
Asgard got a couple more in. Chris Estes did a 50, and Corinne L did a 210.
Oh, another 200. Man, those things are flying.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make another $200 tier with just a simple head sketch. No, just inside the cover of the book. That's all it's gonna be, inside the cover of the book.
It might have to be something like that because the full hauls are going. I already know there's several guys at work that were talking about buying it tomorrow, so they better wake up early because they may not be there by the time they wake up.
Add another one. You talk to your wife about it. She's gonna let you know. Add another one.
Yeah.
All right, have a good one, Ben.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Launching a campaign and ready to go on vacation. What the heck?
Yeah.
So Doug, let me just clarify. So Doug Tenaple launched about a week before I did with Graveyard Shift, Bigfoot Bill. And he decided, well, now's a really good time in the middle of my campaign to go out in the woods for a week. that vacation in the woods for a week cost him about $8,000 because I closed the gap. I'm about 2,000, maybe 3,000 away from him now. So that's what that vacation caused him because he figured it was a good time to disappear. You got to promote. You got to get out there in front of this thing because that momentum is going to die out. And I've been lucky to hold on to my momentum, but look, I'm pushing and pushing and pushing, you know. So,
yep.
You want to make that money? Football, no time for that.
Unless you can live stream while he's watching the game.
There you go. Yeah, you can at least do that. You can't sacrifice one for the other. Holy cow!
Well, like I say, I figure as soon as he got off, Mrs. Jones probably reset those priorities for him.
You said what?
I'll put Asgard back in the chat here, so if anyone hasn't gone to it from here, they can.
Hey guys in the chat, has my resolution gotten any better over the time?
Lock it on your screen for a minute, man.
It doesn't look like it. I'm watching the chat window.
Is it?
I think this is just bandwidth issue, man.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. I contacted AT&T today and ordered the next tier of bandwidth. So it's supposed to be sometime tonight. It's supposed to kick in that it's going to like 4x my bandwidth.
And you might have to reset your modem, reboot.
Yeah, I already rebooted it once. I'm not going to do it while we're streaming. So
yeah.
Mike,
you look like animations from the original Myst game. Oh.
At least I don't look like the original Mario Brothers. That'd be pretty bad.
KV Sherm says, John, you don't like Blazing Saddles. No, I just don't like it, man. I don't know. I tried to watch it a couple times. Maybe I'll give it another go. I think it was Brady wanted me to check that out, and he gave me a good backing yesterday. So it's on the list. I'm going to work on it. I'll try to like it.
Well, Mr. Miller, I am going to have to start cooking some dinner here, brother.
Yeah, no worries. We've been at this for 2 hours, so I guess it's time to wrap it up. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. Appreciate everyone in the chat. John, would you like to give one final push?
Yeah, guys, if you haven't, please check out Graveyard Shift. It's on IndieGoGo, and there's about 12 days left. If you need to contact me, I'm at John Malin on Twitter and John Malin on YouTube.
All right, thank you, Edwin. Wait, let's pitch Lone Star again. Why not?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, LoneStarComic.com is where you can go check out Lone Star. It is about you guys know what it's about. I don't need to give the whole pitch. It's a great book in my opinion, but I'm drawing it, so what do I know? Go LoneStarComic.com. The link is in the description. Check it out. If it floats your boat, please think about pitching in and helping us to make this a reality. I mean, it's already going to be reality, but you can get your piece of it before it goes out to everyone. And also hit that like button, please, before you leave, if you would be so kind. Subscribe if you're not already. I'm over 2,500, so moving all right along. How many are you at, John?
Oh, on backers?
Supporters. I mean, subs.
For my channel?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think last time I looked about 1,600.
1,600. Everybody go sub to John Malin as well, please.
Actually, you know what? If anyone's interested, hop over to my channel. I'll go on there for 30 minutes. So just John Malin on YouTube.
There you go. You have someplace to go if you're all hopped up on goofballs. Edwin.
Yeah. All right. So practical note here. Practical note. We have a chance to build something entirely new. All you good people, all you comics fans and consumers, we have the opportunity to change the world, to change the industry. Now, people get passionate about things, and sometimes they can be very quick to anger, particularly when they want to defend something that they love or they're passionate about. But we need to help create a space that other people can look at and say, you know what? Those guys are the better alternative. Those guys look fun. That looks like something that I want to be a part of. So be good representatives for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Help paint an appealing alternative, so as many people as possible, as many comic fans as possible, want to come join us, right? Want to come have a good time with us, want to enjoy all these wonderful things that are being made. Because as they do that, it'll help get even more fantastic stuff made. So wherever you're at in the world, whoever you are, whatever background you come from, going to ask 3 things from you. 1, show as much kindness and compassion to others as you can. Respect yourself and be the very best version of yourself that you can be, so that wherever you stand, the world is made a better place because you are in it. And until we meet again, I wish you a good night and aloha.
Lone Star Squadron, you are dismissed.